In the realm of intellectual giants, few figures loom as large as Noam Chomsky. A scholar of unparalleled depth, Chomsky's influence extends far beyond linguistics and cognitive science. He is a relentless inquisitor of power and a voice of unwavering conscience. His work has challenged conventional wisdom and inspired generations. To delve into Chomsky's world is to embark on a journey of intellectual awakening. At the heart of Chomsky's work lies a concern with power, its nature, manifestations, and impact on society. Power operates through subtle means, controlling information and shaping narratives. Chomsky's analysis reveals how media serves corporate interests, marginalizing dissent. His insights urge us to become informed, critical citizens, challenging injustice. Understanding Power, the indispensable Chomsky, offers a compelling and accessible entry point into the vast and challenging world of Noam Chomsky's thought. Through a series of carefully selected interviews and lectures, the book illuminates Chomsky's key ideas on power, propaganda, media, and the human condition. It is an invaluable resource for anyone seeking to grapple with the complexities of our world and to develop a deeper understanding of the forces that shape our lives. Chomsky's voice is as relevant today as it has ever been, in an era marked by increasing inequality, environmental degradation, and the erosion of democratic values. His work serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of critical thinking, dissent, and active citizenship. His relentless pursuit of truth, his unwavering commitment to justice, and his profound insights into the human condition continue to inspire and challenge us, urging us to create a more just and humane world for all. This exploration of understanding power will delve into the core tenets of Chomsky's thought, examining his analysis of power, his critique of the media, and his vision for a more just and democratic society. We will explore real-world examples that illustrate his theories, from the Vietnam War to the rise of neoliberalism, and examine the continued relevance of his work in the 21st century. Join us as we embark on this journey of intellectual discovery, guided by the insights of one of the most important thinkers of our time. In Understanding Power, Noam Chomsky explores the concept of manufacturing consent. Power is maintained through subtle means, shaping public opinion to ensure consent. The media, dominated by corporate interests, acts as a filter. Chomsky and Edward S. Herman's propaganda model explains this. 5 filters shape the news: ownership, advertising, sourcing, flack, and ideology. These filters align news with powerful interests, shaping public opinion. The consequences are profound, influencing support for elite benefiting policies. To grasp manufactured consent, examine the 5 filters of the propaganda model. Ownership highlights corporate influence on media content. Media outlets aim to generate profit. They rely on advertisers, often large corporations, avoiding content that might alienate advertisers. Advertising reinforces this dynamic. Media relies on advertising revenue, incentivized to produce appealing content. Sourcing relies on official sources. Journalists rely on government officials and corporate spokespeople. These sources have their own agendas. Flack refers to negative responses to challenging content. Flack can lead to self-censorship. Journalists avoid controversial topics to prevent backlash. The 5th and final filter, ideology, encompasses the broader societal norms, beliefs, and values that shape media content. These ideological filters are often unconscious, reflecting the shared assumptions and worldviews of journalists, editors, and their audiences. For example, the belief in the inherent goodness of capitalism or the importance of American exceptionalism can subtly influence the way news is reported, even if these beliefs are not explicitly stated. The cumulative effect of these 5 filters is a media landscape that is heavily skewed towards the interests of the powerful. While there may be a superficial diversity of outlets and opinions, the range of perspectives presented is often quite narrow, reinforcing the status quo and marginalizing dissenting voices. This creates the illusion of choice, where consumers of news may believe they are being exposed to a wide range of viewpoints when in reality they are being presented with a carefully curated selection of information that is designed to reinforce existing power structures. This is not to say that all media is propaganda or that all journalists are complicit in a grand conspiracy to deceive the public. However, it is essential to recognize the structural constraints within which the media operates and the subtle ways in which those constraints can shape the information we consume. By understanding the propaganda model, we can become more critical consumers of news, questioning dominant narratives, seeking out alternative sources of information, and developing a more nuanced understanding of the forces that shape our world. Chomsky's work empowers individuals to become critical and engaged citizens. By understanding power, we can challenge dominant narratives and amplify marginalized voices. Awareness of our biases is the first step. Seek out alternative sources of information, engage with uncomfortable truths and question assumptions. Become active participants in creating and sharing information. Use social media to challenge narratives and connect with others. Create a more democratic media landscape. Always question and hold power accountable. Chomsky's work shows the power of dissent and the belief in a better world. Embrace these values to create a just society. Chomsky argues that while the trappings of democracy exist, elections, parliaments, public discourse, the reality is often illusory. True democratic participation is thwarted by entrenched power structures. The manufacture of consent shapes public opinion, limiting acceptable discourse. Even elections become stage-managed exercises in public relations. Chomsky reminds us that the pursuit of true democracy requires constant vigilance. To understand how power maintains its grip, it's crucial to examine the specific tools and strategies employed to engineer consent and manage dissent. Chomsky identifies several key mechanisms, all of which work in concert to shape public perception and behavior. Propaganda, as we've explored, is a cornerstone of this system, but it's far from the only weapon in the arsenal of power. One potent tool is the construction of fear. By exaggerating threats, those in power can create a climate of fear and insecurity, making the public more willing to accept restrictions on their freedoms. This tactic has been used repeatedly throughout history, from the Cold War to the War on Terror. Another tactic involves the manipulation of identity politics. By dividing the public along racial, religious, or ideological lines, those in power can prevent the emergence of a unified opposition. Economic control also plays a crucial role in maintaining power. By concentrating wealth in the hands of a few, those in power can exert significant influence over political processes and media narratives. Finally, Chomsky points to the increasing sophistication of surveillance technologies as a growing threat to democratic participation. From facial recognition software to data mining algorithms, the ability to monitor and track individuals is becoming ever more pervasive. The consequences of this manufactured consent and the suppression of dissent are far-reaching and deeply damaging to the fabric of a just and equitable society. When critical thinking is stifled and alternative viewpoints are silenced, the result is often a population that is ill-equipped to grapple with complex issues. Moreover, the suppression of dissent can lead to a dangerous concentration of power, as those in authority become increasingly unaccountable and insulated from criticism. This can create a breeding ground for corruption, abuse, and the erosion of democratic norms. Perhaps most importantly, the cost of compliance is ultimately borne by individuals who are denied the opportunity to live in a society that values their voices. When fear and conformity become the norm, creativity, innovation, and social progress are all stifled. Chomsky's work serves as a stark reminder that the struggle for a truly democratic and just society requires constant vigilance. It's a call to awaken from the slumber of complacency and recognize that the price of freedom is eternal vigilance. Section 4: Seeds of Resistance. Chomsky's analysis isn't defeatist, it's a call to action. Recognize power dynamics, resist, organize, and create change. Education and collective action are crucial. Embrace our role in shaping a just, equitable future. Section 1. Unveiling the flaws of democracy under scrutiny. In our continued exploration of Noam Chomsky's Understanding Power, we arrive at the heart of what many consider the bedrock of a just and equitable society, democracy. However, Chomsky urges us to look beyond the polished facade and confront the uncomfortable realities that often belie the ideals of democratic governance. He argues that while the concept of democracy holds inherent value, its implementation, particularly in the context of modern nation-states, often falls far short of its lofty promises. Chomsky posits that one of the fundamental flaws in our understanding of democracy lies in equating it solely with electoral processes. The act of voting, while undeniably important, is but one facet of a truly democratic society. When we limit our understanding of democracy to the casting of ballots, we inadvertently empower those who control the mechanisms of those elections. Furthermore, Chomsky argues that even the supposed freedom of choice inherent in democratic elections is often illusory. The range of options presented to voters is typically limited by powerful interests that exert significant influence over the political process. From campaign financing to media narratives, those with wealth and influence can effectively shape the boundaries of acceptable discourse. This is not to say that Chomsky advocates for abandoning democratic principles altogether. Rather, he challenges us to acknowledge the shortcomings of existing systems and to strive for a more robust and participatory form of democracy. Section 2. Beyond the ballot box, true public participation. To move beyond the limitations of what Chomsky terms spectator democracy, we must cultivate a deeper understanding of what genuine public participation entails. It requires a shift in perspective from viewing citizens as passive recipients of government decisions to active participants in shaping the political landscape. Chomsky advocates for a model of participatory democracy where citizens are empowered to engage in meaningful dialogue, deliberate on critical issues, and influence decision-making processes at all levels of government. This requires creating spaces and structures that facilitate informed debate, encourage diverse perspectives, and provide citizens with the tools and resources to effectively participate in the political process. Such a shift necessitates a fundamental restructuring of power dynamics. It requires challenging the concentration of power in the hands of a select few and creating mechanisms for greater transparency, accountability, and responsiveness within government institutions. It also demands a more critical and engaged citizenry, one that is willing to invest time and energy in understanding complex issues. Chomsky argues that true democracy flourishes not merely through the casting of votes, but through the active and informed engagement of its citizens. It demands a commitment to ongoing dialogue, a willingness to listen to and learn from diverse perspectives, and a shared responsibility for creating a more just and equitable society. Section 3. The Education Imperative: Nurturing Critical Citizens. Central to Chomsky's vision of a more participatory democracy is the crucial role of education. However, he distinguishes between education as it often exists, a system designed to instill obedience and conformity, and education as it should be, a process of empowering individuals to think critically, question assumptions, and challenge the status quo. Chomsky argues that a truly democratic society requires citizens who are capable of independent thought, who can critically evaluate information, and who are equipped to engage in reasoned debate and deliberation. This necessitates an education system that prioritizes critical thinking skills, media literacy, and a deep understanding of history, civics, and the complexities of power structures. Furthermore, Chomsky stresses the importance of fostering a lifelong love of learning, encouraging individuals to continuously question, explore, and expand their understanding of the world around them. This requires moving beyond the confines of formal education and embracing opportunities for learning and engagement throughout life. By nurturing critical thinking and a thirst for knowledge, we create the foundation for a more informed and engaged citizenry. Section 4. Sowing the seeds of change, collective action, and hope. While Chomsky's analysis of power structures and the challenges they pose to genuine democracy can feel daunting, he remains cautiously optimistic about the potential for positive change. He firmly believes in the power of individuals to resist, to organize, and to create a more just and equitable world. Chomsky points to countless historical examples of social movements that have successfully challenged entrenched power structures. From the abolition of slavery to the fight for women's suffrage to the struggle for civil rights, history is replete with examples of seemingly insurmountable systems of oppression crumbling in the face of determined and organized resistance. He emphasizes the importance of solidarity, urging individuals to recognize their shared humanity and to work together across lines of difference to challenge injustice. Chomsky reminds us that even small acts of resistance, when combined with the efforts of others, can create a ripple effect. Chomsky's work is a call to action, an invitation to step outside the confines of complacency and to embrace our role as active participants in shaping the world around us. It is a reminder that the pursuit of a more just and democratic society is an ongoing struggle. Section 1. The Shadows of History, Case Studies in Power. Chomsky's theories on power, propaganda, and the illusion of choice are far from abstract. He meticulously dissects real-world examples, illustrating global dynamics. These case studies show the mechanisms shaping human events. Propaganda justifies interventions, maintaining public support for policies. The Vietnam War exemplifies misinformation and fear-mongering. Media often perpetuates these narratives, lacking critical analysis. This reflects structural constraints within the media. Chomsky compels us to confront truths about power and propaganda. He challenges us to develop a critical lens for current events. Section 2. The Propaganda Machine at Work, Dissecting the Narrative. To further illustrate the pervasive influence of the propaganda model, Chomsky delves into specific examples of how information is filtered and manipulated to serve the interests of the powerful. He examines the way certain events are selectively highlighted while others are downplayed or ignored altogether, shaping public perception and influencing the way we understand complex issues. The coverage of elections, both domestically and internationally, provides fertile ground for Chomsky's analysis. He argues that the media often focuses on superficial aspects of campaigns such as personality clashes and campaign gaffes, while neglecting to engage in any meaningful discussion of substantive policy differences. Chomsky also critiques the tendency of the media to frame complex geopolitical conflicts in simplistic binary terms. This tendency, he argues, serves to justify military interventions, demonize adversaries, and stifle any meaningful debate about alternative solutions. By meticulously deconstructing these narratives, Chomsky exposes the underlying power dynamics at play and encourages us to develop a more discerning eye for the subtle ways in which language, imagery, and selective reporting can be used to shape our understanding of the world. Section 3. The Illusion of Choice Manufacturing Consent in Action. Chomsky's analysis reveals how our choices, from products to ideas, are shaped by unseen forces. The illusion of choice permeates our consumer society. Advertising meticulously crafts messages to appeal to our desires and fears, influencing our perceptions and values. Chomsky urges us to question our assumptions about freedom and choice, becoming critical consumers of information and products. Section 4. Echoes of Dissent, Seeds of Resistance in a Controlled World. Despite his sobering analysis of power structures and their grip on society, Chomsky's message is not one of despair or resignation. Throughout Understanding Power, he weaves a thread of cautious optimism, highlighting the potential for individuals to resist, to organize, and to challenge even the most formidable systems of control. Chomsky draws inspiration from historical examples of successful social movements, from the abolition of slavery to the struggle for women's suffrage to the fight for civil rights. These movements, often sparked by the courage and conviction of ordinary individuals willing to stand up for what they believed in, demonstrate that even the most entrenched power structures are not invincible. He emphasizes the importance of education, critical thinking, and access to information as crucial weapons in the fight against oppression. By empowering individuals with the knowledge and tools to critically analyze the world around them, we create the potential for a more informed, engaged, and active citizenry, capable of challenging injustice and demanding accountability from those in power. Chomsky's work serves as a powerful reminder that the pursuit of a more just and equitable society is an ongoing struggle, one that demands our constant vigilance, our unwavering commitment, and our enduring belief in the power of collective action to create a brighter future. Section 1. Echoes of Dissent Unmasking Power, Empowering Change. Chomsky's analysis reveals how power shapes our perceptions and choices. He urges us to resist, question, and reshape systems. Understanding power equips us to advocate for change and amplify marginalized voices. Section 2. The Enduring Relevance of Chomsky, Navigating a World in Flux. In an era of rapid technological advancements and shifting geopolitical landscapes, Chomsky's work remains as relevant as ever. His insights into power, propaganda, and critical thinking provide a framework for navigating the complexities of the 21st century. The rise of social media brings both opportunities and challenges to a just society. These platforms can amplify marginalized voices, but also spread misinformation and erode trust. Chomsky's work highlights the evolution of propaganda and the need for media literacy and critical thinking. His analysis of power structures is crucial in addressing economic inequality, climate change, and authoritarianism. Embracing critical thinking and active citizenship. Chomsky's understanding power is a call to action. It invites us to be active, engaged citizens. Pursuing a just, equitable society demands our participation. It starts with lifelong learning and questioning. Engage with diverse perspectives and cultivate empathy. Be active in the political process daily. Hold officials accountable and support justice movements. Ordinary individuals can reshape the world. Embrace critical thinking and active citizenship.